Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about starting a plant-based diet, or more so the challenges that one might face when starting a vegan or whole foods plant-based diet. Now, if you have been eating this way for a while, don't scoot out this video, because I do think you'll find what we're going to talk about beneficial. I mean, I've been eating this way for years and I still have challenges. Nobody's perfect, you know, we're all going to hit bumps in the roads. We're all going to face something that maybe we're not prepared for and that we have to work through. So I do think whether you are new to this way of eating, or if you've been eating this way a while, this video will be beneficial for you. And I'm very excited to share it with you today. Now, if you are new here, my name is Tia. Welcome to this channel. I would love if you hit that subscribe button and stick around, as you might be gathering at this very moment. Here on this channel, I just love to share with you how you can live this healthy lifestyle really easily. It doesn't have to be complicated. And yeah, I like to share that info with you. So I would also love, for those of you watching, new or not new, if you would hit that like button. Let me know that you're here, that you see me, that you're listening, and that you like this. So let's get on with the video. All right, so like I kind of mentioned a couple seconds ago, what we're going to do in this video is I want to talk about the challenges that tend to come up when trying to implement a healthy lifestyle, trying to stick to a healthy plant-based lifestyle. And the way that we're going to do this is yesterday or a couple days ago over on Instagram, I posted a sticker asking you guys what challenges, what's hard for you about eating a whole food plant-based diet or a vegan a healthy vegan diet. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to share with my audience over on Instagram that we all struggle. It's not just you, not you specifically, but you in general. It's not just you facing, you know, problems with a restaurant not having, you know, something for you to eat, or having to go to a family's house for the holidays and there's nothing for you to eat. You're not the only one going through this. And I'm not saying that to sound like rude or anything. I'm saying that to give you some type of comfort, to let you know that this is normal. You're not the only one. So in asking those questions, I shared people's responses, and now I'm taking those responses, and in this video, I want to share with you how I overcame these obstacles. Now, this is, again, how I overcame them. I am not telling you this is what you need to do. I'm just sharing with you how I was able to move through some of the bumps in the roads that came about, because, you know, the same things that you guys had trouble with are the same things I had trouble with, you know? So I think it's good to hear someone else's perspective and how they move through it. It might be helpful, but again, this doesn't mean you have to do it. It's just what I did. So let's go ahead and get through it. I have the responses right here on my phone. The first person said, spending too much time in the kitchen. Now, I love that this one is first, because boy, do I get this issue right here. For those of you who know me, well, you don't know me personally, but you know of me, you've been here with me a while, you know that I tried to live this way for a very long time, almost a decade. Now, that doesn't mean that's gonna happen for you. From my life and my circumstance at the time, that's just what happened to me. And one of the reasons it took me so long to live this way is because I was overcomplicating my meals. I was spending tons of time in the kitchen. Why is that? Because I was under the impression that these meals, these plant-based meals that I was seeing in recipe books and I was seeing on Pinterest that were beautiful, I just thought that I had to make my meals as complicated as those, with as many ingredients as those had. And so what I would do is I would sit down, I would search on Pinterest or the internet really for a ton of recipes for the week. I would write down all the ingredients. I would go to the grocery store. I would buy the ingredients for those meals. And then as the week went on, I would try to make those meals. Little did I know, these meals took anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I did not have the time for that. I had little babies at the time. And then as the years went on, I had little kids. And I feel like regardless of the age of your children, it's really hard to take time to cook a long meal. So needless to say, I get that hurdle. I get that it's tough. And what I can say to that is I had to wipe that thought from my mind. I had to think really simple when it came to my meals. After all, these whole plant foods that are still intact, it is really simple, All you really need on your plate to keep you full and satisfied are veggies, a starch, and some sauce, maybe a side of fruit. That's it. It doesn't have to be these extravagant casseroles and meals with 20 different steps or 30 different ingredients or even 15 different ingredients. It doesn't have to be that way. And I would argue it shouldn't be that way because the more complicated your meals get, the more rich your meals get, the more addicting your meals get. And so anyway, keep your meals simple. And I have great videos on my channel if you haven't seen them. I talk about becoming a pantry chef, which is where you want to first figure out, meals that you like to eat, whether that's potato meals or pasta meals or rice dishes. Figure out what you like, because after all, you don't want to feel neglected or deprived, and you want to be satisfied. So figure out the types of meals that you like the plant foods that go with those meals, and go to the grocery store and stock up on that stuff. Don't ever run out of that stuff. That way you can quickly come home, take a pot out and throw beans, throw veggies, and throw a can of salsa in there with it and have yourself a delicious meal. Pour it on top of some rice. It can be as easy as 10 minutes, which is why I'm coming out with my 10 minutes or less recipe book to show you guys how easy this can be. So yeah, you just want to keep things simple and just try to change your mind when it comes to mealtime. Stop. For me, I had to stop sitting down on the weekends and writing out, okay, on Monday we're gonna have this, and Tuesday we're gonna have this. Not that that's not helpful, but for me, that forced me to kind of search for recipes. And so what I do now is I just have all of my staple foods that I love to eat all the time. I have all of those meals in stock all the time. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you just a quick little glimpse. You see all these beans, tomato sauces. This is what I need to really make some of my dishes sometimes. Fat-free marinara. I have all my plant-strong broths. I have all of my lentils and pastas. So the thing is I never run out of this stuff. And I'll go ahead and link my pantry chef video and my pantry tour video. But I never ever run out of this stuff. And that way I can, if I'm rushing, if I didn't plan dinner and I'm coming home from football practice late one evening and everybody's hungry, I can just run in my pantry real quick, grab a can of beans, grab a can of tomato sauce or crushed tomatoes, cook some, heat up some frozen rice. I keep frozen rice all the time, and throw some veggies in the meal, and I have a quick meal. So yeah, just try to keep things simple. And if you need more help, you can, like I was saying a little while ago, you can check out my 28-day guide, Simple Vegan Mama, where I help you get in the routine of eating simple meals, thinking simple. I help you do that for 28 days with the hopes that you'll continue to live that way. All right, let's move on to the next hurdle people seem to be having. Cheese. Someone says cheese. Oh man, do I get that one. When I moved over to eating this way, cheese was tough for me. Not meat, not, milk, cow's milk or anything. It was the cheese. And the one thing I can say to that is I'm not sure if you've tried my Hungry Vegan Mama cheese sauce, but I highly recommend it. I will link the video up above and in the description box for you, but I could not live without cheese either. I, for a very long time, needed to really have cheese with all of my meals, and so I created a cheese sauce that I liked. There's many different recipes out there for plant-based, oil-free, low-fat cheese sauces, and you can try all of them. I encourage you to, because you might find one that you like more than mine, but I gotta say mine is really good. There's a lot of people that love it. So I would definitely recommend that you check out this cheese sauce, give it a try, and put a couple tablespoons on your potatoes, on your broccoli, really whatever you need to put the cheese sauce on, you do it. You do it to get that cheese fix. All right, so the next hurdle that you guys are experiencing, and many of you, I heard many of these, or I read many of these on Instagram, is that your family that you are living with, or your kids, don't eat vegan or plant-based. They're not interested in it at all. I totally get that. That was my situation for such a long time until I put my foot down, until I realized that I was letting that be an excuse for me moving forward. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm saying that's what I was doing. I was using that as an excuse to just somehow keep me locked in what I was loving, fast food and all that bad stuff for your body. And I finally realized one day I can either continue to let the fact that my husband and my kids not wanting to eat vegan, not wanting to let go of the Chick-fil-A and the ice cream, I can let that hold me back, or I can figure out a workaround and continue on the path that I want to go on. And then after I master that, work on them. And so what I told my family, pretty much my husband, I said, hey, look, I cook in this house, I do all the grocery shopping, everything I get is not gonna involve animal stuff, okay? So no meat, no dairy, no eggs, no cheese. All that other stuff was not coming in this house anymore, and he understood that I needed that for myself. And so that stopped immediately. And I told him, I said, I'm not telling you you have to be plant-based. I'm not gonna force the kids to be plant-based because, up until this point of their life, they haven't been eating this way. But again, I'm not cooking anything that has to do with an animal in this house. So you guys eat what I make, or you're more than welcome to get in the car and go get what you need to get to make yourself happy. And what happened more often than not is they would stay here and they would eat the food I make. Number one, because it's delicious, but number two, it was a pain in the butt to get in the car. And I think deep down inside, my husband at the time wanted to be healthy. Actually, he did. So he loved the meals that I was making. He enjoyed them. He actually started to kind of eat them on his own and start making his own plant-based stuff. And my kids just followed suit, Do they like what I make all the time, or did they like what I was making? Absolutely not. There's many times, I would say more often than not, they don't like what I make for dinner. And I just encourage them to try it. I always tell them, I don't have a problem with making you something or creating a meal, and I'll explain this, creating a meal for you that's different than what I cooked, but I want you to try it, okay? And so they always try it, and sometimes they end up loving it, sometimes they don't. And I say, great, not a problem. And I go make them a quick and easy meal that literally takes 5 minutes. So whether that's peanut butter sandwich with an apple and some broccoli on the side. That's a great dinner for my kids. Why can't you have a peanut butter sandwich for dinner? Why does it have to be a lunchtime thing, Usually, if they're not liking what I have, I'll make them a quick rice dish, like a little stir fry. So I take my frozen rice out of the refrigerator, and this is another reason why I keep frozen rice, because it's quick. I'll take some frozen rice, I'll toss it in a bowl. I'll put in some frozen edamame, some shredded carrots, and a sauce on there with some good healthy fats for them. Pop it in the microwave for 1 to 2 minutes. Done. They have a healthy meal. We can all still sit down and eat together. But the thing is for me, so to recap, I had to put my foot down and tell my family, I'm only making plant-based things in this house, period. And number two, I had to just kind of get familiar with the meals that my kids liked, okay, that I could quickly whip up and make for them. There's ways that you can do it that are really, really simple. Just sit down and think about it. That's all I have to say. But you need to do what works best for your family. And there is a workaround. There is a workaround. Don't use, and again, I'm not saying you're doing this, but don't use that as an excuse to not move forward yourself. That was one thing I kind of had to work through in my mind. I almost felt guilty if I moved forward on my health journey and left them behind. I felt like I was being a bad mom, a bad wife, and ultimately what that thought was doing was not only was I continuing to be unhealthy, but they were also staying unhealthy. And at least me moving forward was getting me healthy and getting everything in my mind right to help them move forward. So that's kind of wordy, but in a nutshell, what I'm saying is by me focusing on myself, it allowed me to then kind of grab them and bring them in a little bit. Are things perfect? Absolutely not. Are they 100% vegan or plant-based? Absolutely not. They are in this house. And when they leave the house, they make their own decisions. My husband makes his own decisions for himself. My kids, I can't stop them from getting cafeteria food at school, but I can educate them and I can encourage them to make the right healthy choices for themselves when they're not around me. And that's the best I can do. And I'm good with that because I know I'm trying the best that I can. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. It's funny, I'm reading through this and there's so many that say, my husband, my husband not wanting to eat like me. So sorry, husbands out there. My husband kind of was a hurdle for me to jump over, but it kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. You can either let that be an excuse or you can figure out a workaround for that. Yeah. This next person says what's hard for her is giving up her soy lattes to lose weight. Now, I never was a big coffee or latte person, but when I read that, I think to myself that you must be feeling very restricted. That makes you feel restricted. You want to continue to have your soy lattes. And if it was me, I'm a very black and white person, so I probably would have given that up. But if I was finding a hard time, let's say I'm not a very, let's say I wasn't someone who was able to just kind of like cut things off, I would maybe continue to have my soy lattes if I had to have them. Weight loss is all about being in a calorie deficit. No matter what you hear or read out there, you cannot lose weight unless you are in a calorie deficit, period. Now there's some other things that go into it, but you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. If you want to continue to drink your soy lattes, then maybe the next meal you have is way more nutrient dense than it is calorically dense. A perfect example is for me, sometimes I just want to have something sweet and decadent. I just gotta have it. And I do. I don't deprive myself. But what always has worked for me these past 3 years is I will make, let's say it's my chocolate chip cookie dough dip. I usually crave that every now and then. So if I'm really wanting that, I will have that for lunch with some apples. I dip the apples in that, or I'll dip strawberries in that. And then I have a ginormous side of broccoli with my low-fat, oil-free cheese sauce. I mean, done. You got yourself a meal. I'm not going crazy over in the calories that I'm eating because I'm coupling it with a high-fiber, non-starchy veggie. I'll try to eat the veggie first, and then I go ahead and eat my apples and my chocolate chip cookie dough dip, and I'm stuffed. I can barely eat more than 5 bites of the cookie dough dip. I'm so full. But do you see what I'm doing there? I'm not depriving myself from something that I want. I'm just being smart about it. And that's all you really have to do. If it was me and I felt deprived not having my soy lattes, I felt like I can't do this forever because I can't have my soy lattes. then you better believe I'll keep having my soy lattes. I just am gonna be smart about it. I talk all about this in one of my videos that, what is it called? Desserts for weight loss. I'll go ahead and link it above and in the description box. Not that a soy latte is a dessert, but it's just, you know, it's extra calories that you might not necessarily need, or you might feel like you shouldn't be having. It's a video on how you can continue to have those things and not feel deprived or restricted, doing it the smart way, you know, healthy way, but the smart way. And for me, I don't feel like a soy latte is very unhealthy. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. I hope that's helpful for you. The next person says she is having a hard time eating this way because meal prep is boring for her. Girl, I get it. I can't stand meal prep. For me, meal prep, I have to put in so much work to start meal prepping that gets overwhelming for me. And so I don't do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you I am not a meal prepper because of that reason. I feel like it's too much work to even meal prep. So what I do is, again, I keep all of my staple foods in stock all the time. Potatoes, beans, rice, lentils, fat-free marinara, bananas, frozen rice, frozen veggies, and soy sauce and nutritional yeast. I feel like I could live off of rice, veggies, soy sauce, and nutritional yeast for the rest of my life. But those are the things I always keep in stock. I never run out. When I'm running low, I just get another one. And then that way I can quickly make a meal in 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't have to meal prep. I don't need to do it because I can just quickly make a pantry chef meal. Again, all of that information is linked in the description box for you to learn a little bit more about that. Hopefully you find that really helpful. Someone else said, not having an idea of what to cook to make it taste good. Sounds like you need to get my Saucy Vegan Mama cookbook. Like I was saying in the beginning of this video, I feature over 35 oil-free sauce recipes that are whole food, plant-based to really take your meals to the next level. I'm telling you, sauce is everything. It's everything when you're eating this way. Someone else had commented, actually, I'm just remembering this, that eating this way seems too plain for them. Ew, a plain potato, who wants to eat that? Not me. I totally get it, not me. But girl, why are you not putting sauce on that potato? Why are you not putting lentil marinara on top? I will link that for y'all below as well. There are ways to make eating plants delicious, absolutely delicious. Yeah, not having an idea of what to cook to make it taste good. I'm telling you, starch, veggie, sauce. And if you need the easiest combo, it's low sodium soy sauce, tamari, or coconut aminos and nutritional yeast. Put those two together and amazing. You can also do the low sodium soy sauce and a little bit of tahini. I'm telling you, delicious. All right, someone else struggles with explaining over and over again why they chose this lifestyle. What a pain in the butt, right? I know. There's probably hundreds of y'all right now shaking your head like, oh yeah, this one. Here's the deal, and here's how I thought about it, and I still do. I don't owe anybody an explanation as to why I'm eating this way. This is my life. I'm gonna do what I wanna do. If I ever felt the need to explain myself to people, I always kept it short and sweet. And if I had people ask me like, why are you eating that way? Or is this healthy? Or what is this healthy, really? But they would say things like, is this healthy? And I would say, you know what? I've done my own research, and for me right now, this is the best way I think for me to eat. And so I'm gonna do it. I'll let you know if anything changes. And that was it. I kept it short and sweet, and I moved on. And I don't even really, and that kind of thing doesn't even make me like flinch. I'm just kind of like, I live this way because I want to. Moving on. Okay, eating out. This was a hurdle for me for quite some time. So what I did was I chose to stay away from eating out for about 3 months. I told my husband, listen, if you want to go eat out, go for it. I'm not going. If friends kind of asked us to go eat out, I would tell him, why don't you go in place of us both? You know, I'm just not gonna go. And so I did that. I did not go eat out for 3 months. I practiced getting used to this lifestyle on my own. And then after that 3 months, I was so set in my ways, the way I was eating out was not a problem. Now, some of the things I choose to do now when we want to go eat out, which is not a lot, or we have friends that ask us to go eat out, is I just either will eat something here really full of fiber to keep me full, to keep those cravings from popping up. So I'll eat something like rice and broccoli. I'll put a lot of broccoli in my rice dish to really fill up my stomach with fiber. I'll eat something like that really quick beforehand, maybe put some beans in there, or I'll throw something in a pot really quick, put it in some Tupperware, throw it in my bag and bring it with me, you know, because I don't want to just eat a salad. That's just how I feel. That is my thoughts about it. Anyway, that's just me. I'm not telling you to bring food to a restaurant at all. It's worked great. It's worked great, but taking a break from the restaurants really got things right for me. I will say that. I needed to do that. I needed to step away from going to restaurants so much. And I also needed to break away from the connection I had with associating food and alcohol, but we're talking about food here, but food with socializing. That was how I socialized. Food, restaurants and food and alcohol. And I didn't want that. I wanted to socialize with my friends and family in other ways. And so now I do. I go on hikes, walking, go swimming at a pool, you can go rollerblading at a roller rink. Talk about fun. We just did that recently with my kids. Oh my gosh. That's gonna definitely be something we do frequently, but that's kind of how I worked through that one. Someone else said staying full throughout the day. Now, I'm not sure what you're currently eating. I would need to know a little bit more of that to help out. But again, I'm not here telling you what to do. I'm just giving you guys responses based off of my experience with these hurdles that you're finding. And for me, this might not even be related to what you're saying, but someone out there might be able to relate to this. But for me, when I experienced not being able to stay full, this was something that happened to me within that decade of me trying to go plant-based. And this was something that I would always fall off the wagon because I was hungry. And the reason I was hungry was because I had this diet mentality in my mind. At the time, I was so afraid of eating carbs that I wasn't really eating any. And carbs is what our body needs, not only for energy, it helps us feel satisfied. And so by neglecting those carbs, I was eating a lot of non-starchy veggies that, yes, are full of nutrition, but really low in calories. And so I was hungry a lot of times. Again, I'm not saying this is what you're talking about, but this is just my experience with not staying full. So it wasn't until about 3 years ago when I finally put my foot down, I finally let go of the dieting chains. I understood that we need carbohydrates to sustain life, to have energy, for our bodies to run and our brains to think properly. Once I finally let go of all the dieting mentality, I was full all the time. Beans, potatoes, tons of broccoli, rice. I mean, all of these things are so filling and satisfying that I never really experienced much more of an issue with staying full. Now, do I have moments now where I get hungry? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I was a little more active the day before, so I burned more calories, so my body is, wanting more food the next day. Or maybe I just need a snack. I have a snack. Usually it's fruit, something with a lot of water and a lot of fiber to help keep me full until the next meal. But more often than not, I'm not feeling very hungry throughout the day because I make sure my meals are filling. I make sure, again, I'm eating a lot of fiber and a good amount of starch to keep me satisfied and full.